Assassin's Creed Shadows won't save Ubisoft. After the game's release, massive scandals erupted, involving major influencers and gaming journalists. Even Elon Musk jumped into the debate on the side of based gamers, only to be humiliated yet again by the gaming community. But let's start from the beginning. At the moment, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the most talked about gaming topic on the entire internet. Opponents and fans of the game have clashed in a ruthless battle, each trying to prove their point and destroy the other side. Since launch, Ubisoft has been doing everything possible to attract players' attention and present their game in the best possible light. Meanwhile, based gamers are looking for hidden flaws in every single word posted on the official Assassin's Creed X account. And you know what always amuses me? When developers post those screenshots featuring quotes from various authoritative gaming media, along with the high scores they gave the game. And of course, if any critic dared to give it a low or even average score, well, it obviously wouldn't make the cut. The point is, it's clear what they're doing. Look, our game is awesome, lots of people love it, and chances are you will too. It's all about drawing in as many players as possible. However, there's one tiny problem these days. It's incredibly hard to find even a single gaming media that hasn't compromised its integrity. Many of them have disgraced themselves with overly positive reviews of games that from players' perspectives were complete failures, which leads to a logical question: can a screenshot like this really motivate anyone to go and buy the game? The official Assassin's Creed account even pinned this post, emphasizing its importance to the company. And that raises another question: why did the developers pin a screenshot of critic scores instead of player scores? Think about it logically. Regular gamers are the ones who bring profit to this company. They are the ones who buy Assassin's Creed by the millions and actually play it. They are the reason Ubisoft still exists despite all its failures. And the answer is actually pretty simple. Player ratings aren't as glowing as critic scores. And I'm not saying they are outright lying or that the game isn't as good as it seems. It's just funny to see how the company tries to make the game look better than it really is, even in the smallest details. Currently, the game maintains an average of around 40,000 players daily, nearly a week after its official release. At its peak, it reached almost 65,000 concurrent players. Obviously, these aren't record-breaking numbers for Steam, but let's not forget that many played on consoles or through Ubisoft Plus, and despite the declining numbers, it's clear the game isn't a flop. It's still holding players' interest. But it seems the developers are already popping champagne. The official Assassin's Creed Twitter account announced that the game has hit 2 million players, surpassing Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey at the same time. Right now, it's even more than 3 million players. However, many based gamers doubted the truthfulness of Ubisoft and the authenticity of the reported numbers. Some even began trying to calculate the sources and platforms from which players accessed the game and the amount of money they brought to Ubisoft. For example, one of the popular arguments was that the number of players on Steam at peak times wasn't particularly high, and the same seemed true for other platforms. Therefore, it was likely that the vast majority of those who bought and played the game were counted through the Ubisoft Plus service. Through this service, they could easily play by paying just $15 for a subscription, which they could cancel before the end of the month. This way, they wouldn't spend a full $70 on a complete copy of the game, but could instead play via the subscription, thereby not giving Ubisoft a single cent. However, as we later learned, all of these turned out to be false, as the majority of sales came from consoles, but we'll discuss that in more detail later. The situation was further fueled by an article from PC Gamer, which claimed that Assassin's Creed Shadows was even more successful than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, having reached 2 million players in just a few days. And as expected, the reaction from X came quickly. Yeah, they're counting the Ubisoft Plus numbers. If they removed that, it would look even worse. But the chill accounts will keep bouncing on Ubisoft's meat either way, cause they want free access and their integrity means absolutely nothing for them. Listen, I know this is PC Gamer and I expect them to lie, but this is unbelievably freaking egregious, even for a mainstream gaming outlet. PC Gamer in their article just openly lied and compared Assassin's Creed Shadows to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and tries to claim that Shadows beat Kingdom Come in less time to reaching 2 million players. This is unbelievably deceptive and they know it. They are trying to say 2 million players engaged is the same as 2 million copies sold. Are you freaking kidding me? Assassin's Creed Shadows did not hit 2 million copies sold at all. Not even close. It has not even passed 1 million yet at the time of these posts. Most of the players are playing for cheap on Ubisoft Plus, or some were even giving keys for free here on Twitter. Then major YouTuber SmashGT joined the situation. Adding fuel to the fire, he shared completely unverified rumors claiming the game's development didn't cost 350 million, but actually around 900 million. Of course, many Ubisoft fans got triggered by this, and one of them replied, "If he isn't going to play the game, why is he even talking about it? Ubisoft fans know exactly exactly what they are buying. Smash GT is just another low-quality content grifter. I would love to see him actually build a game. In response, Smash stated that he had already played the game for over 7 hours, which confirmed by his live stream. Moreover, he had personally worked in the gaming industry, so he had every right to express his opinion. Absolutely anyone, regardless of their experience in the gaming industry, has the right to their personal opinion, whether they like the game or not. And yes, even if you haven't played this game, you still have the right to your opinion. It might just be that your opinion is, this game is trash, that's why I don't play it. But that's still an opinion. A bit later, that whole Elon Musk situation happened. The point is that Ubisoft bought an ad from one Twitch biggest streamers, Hassan. For those who don't know, Hassan is known for his radically left-wing political views. In one of his streams, he even interviewed an actual terrorist in GTA RP, of course. Somehow Hassan managed to land a sponsored stream paid for by Ubisoft. In response, Grams posted, "You can tell a lot about Ubisoft with how much money they are throwing at terrorist platforming streamers." To which reacted Elon Musk, saying Hassan is a fraud, and then added, "Sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he is promoting a terrible game just for the money." In response to this tweet, the official Assassin's Creed account jumped into the discussion and asked Elon Musk, "Is that what the guy playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you?" For context, Elon Musk recently bragged about being one of the top Path of Exile players in the world, but was quickly exposed. Gamers found out that Elon account was actually being boosted, while he himself didn't even understand some of the game's basic mechanics. This tweet has absolutely destroyed gamers with laughter. At the time of the screenshot, it had over 500,000 likes and 30 million views. To understand what happened next, we need a bit of context. The thing is, Grams has been crowdfunding for years to develop his own game. People who invested in it have been waiting for ages, but it seems the game will never actually release, and Grams is just deceiving everyone by pretending to work on it. So after all this, Grams couldn't take it anymore and tried to defend Elon Musk. He posted a screenshot claiming that Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't making enough money to save Ubisoft, to which the official Assassin's Creed account clapped back again. "At least our game is out." And Grams had no choice but to admit the absolute dominance of Assassin's Creed SMM team in this situation. Despite all the scandals and hate, Ubisoft tried everything possible to attract players to their game. Under posts about Assassin's Creed Shadows, suspicious accounts were spotted, leaving comments that looked suspiciously like AI-generated nonsense. Some were downright hilarious. "Can't wait for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the anticipation is real. Love the new direction they're taking with the stealth action. Definitely excited to dive into this one." Finally, Assassin's Creed Shadows is almost here. Ubisoft is about to deliver another stealth action masterpiece. Can't wait to play. Exciting news, can't wait to try out the new game and see what Ubisoft has in store for us. The anticipation is real. And someone replied to this, "I'm also very much human and excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. The gameplay is stealth action, the visuals are graphics, and the characters are dynamic." Of course, I can't claim that Ubisoft themselves did this. Maybe just some crazy fans of the game who sent bots to the comments for just for fun. However, based on this, gamers didn't stop their investigations. Another topic for discussion became Ubisoft's financial situation and the potential profit of the new game. According to the preliminary estimates, the game's budget ranges from 350 to 450 million, making it a massive project by gaming industry standards, even within a AAA segment. But Ubisoft has proven that even with such enormous budgets and a huge pool of talented employees, their absolutely idiotic mismanagement can ruin even games of this scale. Some franchises are so powerful that their name alone guarantees success. It's hard to fail even with the weak product under such a brand. Take Star Wars, for example. Just slap the familiar logo on it and millions of fans are ready to buy anything. But Ubisoft seems to have challenged the very nature of marketing, somehow managing to fail even with Star Wars Outlaws. It's like trying to drain an ocean with a leaky bucket. You need a special kind of talent to disappoint players and destroy a universe that practically sells itself with its name. It is known that in first month after release, Star Wars Outlaws sold 1 million copies. However, Ubisoft previously stated that they aim to sell around 5 million copies within the first month, which strongly suggests that the game flopped and they couldn't even break even on their expenses. And that's not even mentioning that beyond the base budget, huge amount of money is usually spent on marketing, plus they'll have to pay a 30% fee to platforms. As we've already mentioned, the game has received a large number of positive reviews and high ratings. However, for Ubisoft to consider the game a success, they don't just need good reviews, they need to make money. Despite everything that has been said, the criticisms, the accusations, and the attempts to expose Ubisoft, it seems that the new Assassin's Creed is actually doing quite well. This is definitely not the failure that many haters and controversy seekers were hoping for. A week after release, the game is still maintaining a stable level of player interest. At the time of recording this video, 1 week after launch, over 3 million players have already played the game. According to VGC, 73% of Assassin's Creed Shadows sales are on consoles. Moreover, on PlayStation 5, this is the best launch in the history of the series, better even than Valhalla. Based on preliminary estimates, 27% of players are on PC, 3% on Xbox, and a staggering 70% on PlayStation 5. Additionally, we shouldn't forget about microtransactions. And yes, I completely agree that adding paid skins to a $70 game is pure greed, especially considering that these are purely cosmetic items that ideally should be available for free through gameplay. But whether we like it or not, many players are willing to spend real money just to get some cool and unique skins. On top of that, AAA game budgets have grown to such an extent that developers often have no choice but to implement unpleasant monetization just to break even. That being said, I'm not trying to defend Ubisoft. They have indeed made a lot of mistakes, invested in risky and questionable projects, and fully deserve the financial situation they find themselves in today. But let's be honest, no matter how many copies of Assassin's Creed Shadows sells or how successful it becomes, it won't change the simple fact that all of Ubisoft's problems and their current state are entirely the result of mismanagement. As Luke Stevens said in his video, having one highly profitable and successful game doesn't change the overall trend or direction in which the company is heading, and that trend is clearly visible in the stock price charts, which show Ubisoft's steady decline. So even if Assassin's Creed Shadows turns out to be a massive hit, it will only delay the company's downfall and eventual sale for a short time. Regardless of how things turn out, one thing is clear: the top management, those responsible for the poor decisions that ruined our favorite games and franchises, will likely face no consequences. Karma won't catch up with them. Instead, they will collect their millions and move on to the other projects where they will be gladly hired. We've already seen this happen with the developers of Concord. They were quickly given new positions elsewhere, and they even brag about it on X. Less than a week after the release of their new game, Ubisoft dropped a shocking announcement. On March 27, the company revealed the creation of a new subsidiary, valued at approximately 4 billion euros. This new entity includes some of Ubisoft's biggest franchises, such as Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Chinese tech giant Tencent will invest around 1 billion euro to acquire a 25% stake in this new division. According to Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, this partnership with Tencent will allow the company to operate more flexibly. And of course, no one expected the same management that led Ubisoft into this situation to admit their mistakes. They will do everything to justify their actions and insist that all these changes are for the better. The real purpose of this restructuring is clear. By reshuffling its franchises and selling off more shares to Tencent, Ubisoft is offloading its less profitable franchises, downsizing its workforce, and cutting costs. At the same time, they're holding on their most reliable projects, those that will generate revenue in the long run. But the most important takeaway from all of this is that despite the restructuring, the company's core decision makers remain unchanged. The Guillemot brothers are still at the helm, meaning that this move will likely provide only a temporary financial boost, delaying the inevitable collapse. Ubisoft is like a critically ill patient. He is still alive but barely moving, sustained only by life support. It's not a question of if it will fall, but when. That being said, we are not necessarily talking about bankruptcy. More likely, Ubisoft will eventually be bought out. If the company can no longer sustain its operational costs, it may end up selling off its intellectual properties one by one. However, those who despise Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed shouldn't celebrate just yet. In the end, the ones who will suffer the most from all these changes are the regular employees, people who had nothing to do with the disastrous decisions that led company to this point. The real culprits, the top executives, have already pocketed their multi-million-dollar bonuses, and when Ubisoft eventually falls, they will simply move on to their other companies, where they will likely continue making the same mistakes all over again.